We've been talking to Sean Riley and Richard Lewis, who owns Woodbridge Estate Care. They've been talking to us about the new Njekt soil injector. They've been using it about 3-4 months now.
Yeah.
And Sean, maybe you could just share for a couple minutes what your experience is with this new piece of equipment. You've had it for what, a month or so on off? And
we've been using it all spring.
Yeah,
all spring. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
My experience with it is using it for mainly doing imidacloprid injections. It has the ability to do the fertilizer, which you guys sent us some fertilizer when we got the tool, but we've been using it mainly for doing emerald ash borer injections, bronze birch borer, birch leaf miner. Birch and holly leaf miner. You can use it, any systemic insecticide injection. That's what we've been doing.
Are you doing treatments other than for just ash trees at this moment, or that's pretty much all you've done?
Yeah,
so
well,
far?
like I said when I
We have a
started,
complete plant health care program.
our plant healthcare program, what we offer to a lot of people if they have white birch trees, which are pretty problematic trees if you think they're very prone to the bronze birch borer, birch leaf miner, and you can go there and do those trees. You got
Holly leaf miner, boxwood leaf miner, anything that's a systemic injection.
Yeah, exactly.
Can obviously be done with this.
So you've been using it with, you've already used it to do all those different kinds of applications.
All
up till now.
We
We're
went
sort
from
of done
using,
with that now, but up until about last week, we were using this thing on a regular basis.
We went from using the truck to
conjunction.
Really?
We don't use the truck for this purpose anymore because it's a
And
waste.
you can just take a
waste of time.
pickup truck, and it's a lot less expensive.
Well, if we take a pickup truck, if that's all you're doing, if we're doing other sprays there, well then we put that on that truck, and one guy's spraying midsummer spray, the other guy's doing the injection.
Or if you had if you had a truck like this one here behind me, and you had it set up to do root feeding, and you have your root feeder right on that truck, and say you're going to be doing root feeding and some of these systemic injections, you don't have to have two materials. You can just quickly do your systemic insecticides with this tool. And also, if you're doing the fertilizations, like you guys have your product with the fertilizer you sent us, I know I've used it, and it's pretty quick,
You could also look at it a different, every insect you're treating, there's a window of opportunity to treat it.
Okay.
So if you're oversaturated with, I have to treat whatever it is, dormant, well, that's not a good application for this, but you're treating EABs and the window is from here to here, and you have more than you can treat from here to here, you've cut your time to do it, which allows you to do more.
So you can do 2 weeks worth of work in 1 week.
Probably.
Basically.
Definitely.
I would say you could.
Without question.
So your timing could be more on point because you're able to do it quicker.
Okay.
So if it isn't even a labor saving, it's going to get the product to the tree at the proper time for your customer rather than can only do so much in a day.
Got it.
So I need 3 weeks to do it, and should really get it done in 2 weeks. So the people at the end aren't getting quite the job they should get.
Got it.
If you do a lot of systemic injections or fertilizations, this is going to change your game.
Now, this comes with a 1-gallon tank, but you've decided for your purposes the 4-gallon backpack works a lot better.
Less refilling.
Less refilling.
Because like I said, might have a job where I'm doing emerald ash borer, and I'm not doing one tree, I'm doing 12 trees. They have a lot of ash trees in our area. It's a very prominent tree. So we're treating these trees on people's properties, and I don't want to go back to the truck back and forth to refill. To refill up my thing here, I could even do the whole job with just one fill up of the backpack. And I can fill it up, job to job, but that only takes a few minutes.
So you're saying you're cutting the time it takes to do the same application?
Easily 50%.
Easily 50%.
And probably more, realistically.
Probably more, particularly in your larger jobs.
Now we don't have anyone helping on the truck too, because I can go out by myself with this, as opposed to maybe if we're doing a lot of injections, I might have a helper with my hose. If I have a complicated property and I have to go from here to the other side over there, I don't have to have a hose connected to a truck anymore.
Got it. You can walk straight across the backyard instead of going all the way back around the front of the house.
Yeah, there's not enough hose. Now we got to go back around, take 300 feet back around to get this one more tree it doesn't reach. You just walk there. There's no stopping.
Well, and the other thing is, and you talk about properties that have a lot of ash trees, but you have properties with one ash tree. You can't afford to mix in a small tank even with what's in the hose and the pump and the hose reel and everything. If you only need less than a gallon of product, you're going to lose 5 gallons just in the truck.
Caught up in the plumbing.
Yes, just in the plumbing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, we always do them all in a batch, but you get that guy who raises his hand late in the year and says, oh, yeah, I want it done too now. Well, like you say, how do you do one?
Right.
You have one ash tree that's going to require, even the old way we did it, 14 gallons of material.
Right.
You can't mix 14 gallons of material in a 1,000-gallon tank. It's
Now,
unrealistic.
Let me say, from an employee standpoint, I'm out in the field using the tool. It's saving my back to the point too where I would have to go out all day and drag hose, and I'm not dragging hose anymore.
So this, you don't feel this is too heavy or whatever to carry around?
No, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Richard, you're the boss. I mean, you crank all the numbers.
Yeah.
Is this a more efficient money maker for you for the particular kinds of things that it does?
Without, I don't even remember what the cost of it was, but this thing paid for itself probably in 2 weeks, just in labor savings alone. You know, you could factor labor, gas could factor a lot of things in it, but this thing paid for itself in 2 weeks.
And actually, your income per day is higher with this.
For sure.
Based on what it can do.
Because you can do more in the same day.
Right.
You're doing it in a smaller vehicle, potentially depending on the situation. So yeah, your income per day has gone up.
Okay. Well, how much money can you make if you were to use this all day in your pickup truck? What kind of income are we talking about?
Well, I know before, let's just say a job was $200, and before the amount of time I could only do 6 jobs.
Okay.
I can go out and I could do 12 jobs.
Depending on the job, we have a few jobs.
Some are small, some are big.
Huge, right.
But even still,
we have one job in particular. It's a $3,600 application for just EAB.
Oh.
He can do that job probably by himself in probably 2 hours with this. I think it's a good product.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think for your initial cost of buying the tool, you're going to easily see your savings in labor alone, and that's every business owner's concern.
Yeah.
I need to get my labor costs
That's your
down.
highest cost, isn't it?
Workman's comp, all that stuff. You're taking, one man can go out and do what we used to do sometimes with 2.